Yesterday, between sessions 3 and 4, 634 delegates were hard at work discussing issues and ideas that will affect the future of California FFA for years to come. Thank you to all delegates and subcommittee chairs for your effort. Your ideas and the work you have done has been compiled into reports by our committee chairs. Now it is time to hear these reports. To assist with the delegate business session, please help me in welcoming this year's official parliamentarian and coach of the 2014 State Champion Parley Pro Team from Nevada Union FFA, Mr. Luke Browning. The awards committee is designed to review the applications for national chapter, star counselor, star reporter, star administrator, star advisor, star supporting faculty staff, and web design. The members of the committee are tasked with reading applications, interviewing candidates, and ranking the finalists. The chairs for the committee are Becca Duran of the Tulare FFA chapter and Tony Clasura of the Healdsburg FFA chapter. Help me in welcoming them to the podium.
For the National Chapter Award Subcommittee, we have Logan Aguirre chairing this committee from Galt FFA. The subcommittee interviewed and evaluated the following individuals from Etna, Exeter, Lodi, Norco, San Luis Obispo, and Santa Rosa LC For the Star Administrator Award Subcommittee, this was chaired by Zach Davis from Sedsipol FFA. The subcommittee interviewed and evaluated the following individuals: Tori Brown from Tracy Merrill West, Bob Nelson, O'Neill's Minarets, Leslie O'Connor, San Luis Obispo, Dan Ramos from Las Plumas, Gerardo Roman from Calexico, and Chris Vandenhevel from Hillsburg. The Star Advisor Award Subcommittee was chaired by Kayla Erath from Santa Ynez FFA. The subcommittee interviewed and evaluated the following individuals: Anna Bates from San Luis Obispo, Amber Griesbach from Delano, Stephanie Kerr from Livingston, Mary Martino from Poway, Joe McNearly from Livermore, and Katie Tershira from Anderson.
The Star Counselor Award. The subcommittee was chaired by Jordan Bartley from the Bakersfield Foothill FFA. The subcommittee interviewed and evaluated the following individuals: Karen Creighton from Livingston, Regina Hanna from Etna, and Debbie Schmidt from Bakersfield North. Star Supporting Faculty and Staff Award. The subcommittee was chaired by Raul Gutierrez Jr. from the Calexico FFA. The subcommittee interviewed and evaluated the following individuals: Crystal Baker from Bakersfield North, Fran Brown from Tracy, Sam Burrows from Anderson, Denise Kelly from Poway, and Carolyn Sherry from Santa Maria. The Star Reporter Award. The subcommittee was chaired by Sienna Pillsbury from the O'Neill's Minarets FFA. The subcommittee interviewed and evaluated the following individuals: Angeli Dowling from Etna, Ashley Lowinger from Napomo, Tanner Levitt from the Eureka FFA, Alexandra Marquez, Los Banos, Clayton Sheehan from Madera, and Keegan Weiss from Lucerne Valley. The Website Award. The subcommittee was chaired by Emmy Henning from the Hamilton City FFA. The subcommittee interviewed and evaluated the following individuals: Healdsburg, Menifee Heritage, Morgan Hill Sobrato, O'Neill's Minarets, Patterson, and Orland. Respectfully submitted, Rebecca Duran from the Tulare FFA, Committee Co-Chair, and Tony Clasura from the Healdsburg FFA, Committee Co-Chair. Mr. President, I move to accept the committee report as read.
There is an implied second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of passing this report signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Tony and Becca, on behalf of the entire California FFA Association, thank you for your service on the awards committee. It's greatly appreciated. Please accept these gavels as tokens of our appreciation. The Big Ideas Committee looks at issues that affect the California FFA. Delegates for this committee develop proposals for review by the State Executive Committee. The chairs of the committee are Jace Neugebauer of the MacArthur FFA chapter and Andrew Skidmore of the Atwater FFA chapter. Join me in welcoming them to the podium.
State Delegate Process, Subcommittee 2.1. The subcommittee was chaired by Ethan Francis, Bakersfield FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the Audit Committee and Public Relations Committee are often underutilized, and whereas state delegates are often unprepared for the state conference delegate process, and whereas students hold no voice in the CATA curricular code reviews, therefore be resolved that the responsibilities of the Audit Committee and Program of Work Committee transfer to the Executive Committee, and be it further resolved, form a standing CATA Student Curricular Code Recommendations Committee, and be it further resolved, delegate information instruction manuals be given to chapters with their registration packets, and be it further resolved, chapters and/or regions may propose changes or big ideas to the Executive Committee to be formed into a delegate topics. Middle School Opportunities and Conferences, Subcommittee 2.2. The subcommittee was chaired by Emma Manukian of the Healdsburg FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas there are already members of the Discovery level that participate in chapters, and whereas the acceptance of Discovery members would increase overall enrollment. Therefore, be it resolved, the increasing enrollment would strengthen the association's purpose and open agricultural literacy to a younger generation earlier. And be it further resolved, there could be a conference held for Discovery members, and that the objectives of the conference would be purposeful to those members seeking membership in the FFA before high school. Agriculture Conference for Seniors, Subcommittee 2.3. The subcommittee was chaired by Emily Baumstark of Bakersfield North FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas there is not a fourth-year conference for seniors, and whereas many seniors are unprepared to go into different agriculturally related careers, and seniors may be unaware of all options in the agriculture field. Therefore, be it resolved, adding in an open to all 2-day senior conference to take place in the fall, including a career aptitude test, a hands-on career expo with an overall structure similar to MFE and ALA conferences.
Subcommittee 2.4, Membership Retention and Recruitment Ideas. The subcommittee was chaired by Zach Seimer of Galt FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas middle schools hold many incoming FFA members, and whereas social media plays such an important role in our lives today, and whereas agriculture education is an alternative for core or required courses in school. Therefore, be it resolved, the California FFA develop resources and tools that include the following recruitment and retention strategies. Going to middle schools or going out to community events puts forth a positive mark with potential future members. Having a chapter website, Facebook page, Instagram account, or Twitter account could come in handy, allowing chapters to post all events for everyone to see. Informing potential future members of the agriculture courses that are often can be informative and promising. And be it further that sashes for graduation, a block letter for a letterman's jacket, or a symbol leaving a mark. Subcommittee 2.5, Alumni Network / the Alumni Booster Programs. The subcommittee was chaired by Hunter Andrade of the Tracy FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolutions. Whereas alumni of the FFA organization often attend FFA events, and whereas booster programs for many chapters provide support, therefore be it resolved. An alumni dinner, luncheon, or gathering be held during state convention to gain as much attendance as possible. And be it further resolved that the Alumni Association start an annual gathering that corresponds with the convention for full and maximum attendance. And be it further resolved to use events and/or social media to strengthen alumni boosters and support throughout the state. Subcommittee 2.6, Global/Model UN Style Conference. The subcommittee was chaired by Mia Russell of Buena Park FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas members currently explore, discover, and research agriculture problems on a global scale on FFA CDEs and agriculture education courses. And whereas exploring the idea of another superior conference of specific application selection could be provided to members. And whereas exploring the idea of a conference of intense information could be provided with intense work also provided. And whereas a new conference could be very informative and helpful, but at the same time challenging to help prepare members for future endeavors with agriculture-related jobs. Therefore, be it resolved that a model UN-style conference be explored for members wishing to expand their horizons within the world agriculture problems, possibly in connection with the Sacramento leadership experience. And be it further resolved that if a conference were to be developed, acceptance should be based on a grueling application process. Respectfully submitted, Jason Neugebauer, MacArthur Fall River FFA, Committee Co-Chair, and Andrew Skidmore, Atwater FFA, Committee Co-Chair.
Mr. President, we move to accept the committee report as read.
There's an implied second. Discussion. Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor of adopting the report signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Andrew and Jace, on behalf of the entire California FFA, thank you for your service on the Big Ideas Committee. Your ideas and your committee's work will go a long way to ensuring the future success of this program. Please accept these gavels as tokens of our appreciation. The Finance and Audit Committee reviews and approves a budget for the state associations as well as the budgets for the 6 individual regions. Members of this committee are also responsible for reviewing the progress of the FFA Center and discussing fundraising opportunities. The chair of the committee is Alyssa Snow of the Galt Liberty Ranch FFA chapter. Help me in welcoming her to the stage.
The Partnership and Support Subcommittee. The subcommittee was chaired by Lauren Pedrati from Eureka FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the California Association is continually increasing in membership each year, and whereas current sponsors of the California Association are successful in financial support and promoting the FFA organization, therefore, be it resolved that the California FFA Foundation explore larger agricultural and non-agricultural businesses such as nationwide fruit industries and banks. The State Conference Budget Subcommittee. The subcommittee was chaired by Alma Rodriguez from Gonzales FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the California FFA Association state budget has been professionally audited for 2014 to 2015, and the state conference budget has been set for 2015 and 2016. And whereas the expense of programs, handbooks, and other conference materials is a monetary burden on the state conference budget, therefore, be it resolved, student delegates approve the 2015 to 2016 state conference budget, and be it further resolved that California FFA creates an electronic app that encompasses the information in the handbooks and programs. Regional Budget Subcommittee. The subcommittee was chaired by Amelia Harlan from Woodland FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the budgets for each region have been professionally audited for 2014 to 2015, and a budget has been set for 2015 to 2016, and whereas many FFA members struggle to pay expenses for college, and whereas the cost for state conference is burdening to many members, therefore, be it resolved, student delegates approve the 2015 to 2016 regional budgets, and be it further resolved that more funds be given to the purpose of creating more scholarships at the regional level or increasing the amount of money rewarded for each conference or event scholarship. The State Budget Subcommittee. The subcommittee was chaired by Fallon Hammond from Exeter FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the California FFA Association state budget has been professionally audited for 2014 to 2015, and the budget has been set for 2015 to 2016, and California FFA loses approximately $8,000 on fundraising, and whereas currently the association has a significantly higher amount of monetary expenses than profitable income for the Sacramento Leadership Experience, therefore, be it resolved, student delegates approve the 2015 to 2016 State Association budget, and be it further resolved, the association advertises fundraisers on social media, and be it further resolved, the association cuts their fundraising down to only 2 fundraisers a year, and be it further resolved, the association explores creating a subcommittee within the Finance and Audit Committee or assigning similar roles that focus solely on fundraising, and be it further resolved, the California Association advertises for and recruits a sponsor for the Sacramento Leadership Experience. Respectfully submitted, Alyssa Snow, Galt Liberty Ranch FFA. Mr. President, I move to accept the committee report as read.
There's an implied second. Any discussion? All those in favor of passing this report signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Alyssa, thank you for the work that you and your committee did on the Finance and Audit Committee. It's a necessary committee that makes sure that we're financially solvent, and that's very important for the California FFA. Please accept this gavel as a token of our appreciation.
Thank you.
The Public Relations Committee looks at the promotion of FFA gear, career pathways information, and agriculture education in government. The chair of the committee is Hunter Brown of the Hanford FFA chapter. California FFA, let's give him a warm welcome to the podium.
FFA gear promotion. The subcommittee chair was chaired by Courtney Jacobson, Galt Liberty Ranch FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the California FFA store has difficulties promoting and selling the products, therefore it be resolved, California FFA focuses on better advertising to appeal to students, teachers, parents by utilizing social media and promotion posters. And be it further resolved, create products that are significantly unique to California FFA and expanding sales at each and every conference. And be it further resolved, create an incentive to draw students and advisors into sales contests, lowering sales prices. Career pathway information. The committee was chaired by Bailey Riscani, King City FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolutions. Whereas there is a lack of knowledge and support of agriculture career pathways from school counselors and faculty, therefore it be resolved to create agriculture career pathway resources that can be used by school counselors. Agriculture education and government. The subcommittee was chaired by Madison Morgan of Oakdale FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolutions. Whereas there is a need for local chapter representation in the local and state levels of government, whereas the need for connection between government officials and agriculture programs is consistently increasing, whereas there is a need for different agriculture programs to cooperate in order to unify and defend agriculture education. Therefore, it be resolved that FFA chapters advocate awareness for their program and expenses through the cooperation with local officials, and be it further resolved that California FFA cooperate with other agriculture organizations to increase participation in government at the Capitol. Respectfully submitted, Hunter Brown, Hanford FFA Committee Chair. Mr. President, I move to accept the committee report as read.
There's an implied second. Discussion. We will proceed to vote. All those in favor of passing this report signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Hunter, thank you for your service to the California FFA. Your work and the time that you put in is greatly appreciated. Please accept this gavel as a token of our appreciation. The Program of Work Committee is designed to develop recommendations related to various areas of the California FFA Association Program of Work. This year, members of the committee discussed new CDEs, SAEs, and scholarships. The committee chair is Whitney Whitaker of the Atascadero FFA chapter. Please help me in welcoming her to the stage.
Subcommittee 6.1, Leadership Development Continuum. The subcommittee was chaired by Sydney Manning from the Bakersfield Frontier FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the current senior conference, the Sacramento Leadership Experience, is extremely exclusive, and whereas there is not a conference solely based on career orientation, therefore be it resolved that California FFA create a senior conference based on promoting agriculture career pathways and career success. And be it further resolved that the learning objectives for this conference include college options and life after college in the agriculture industry. Subcommittee 6.2, Supervised Agriculture Experience Excellence. The subcommittee was chaired by Lauren Malang from the Woodland Pioneer FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas many students may be unaware of the proficiency application and how to complete it, and whereas participation in proficiency areas could be increased, therefore be it resolved, video or social media promotions be created to inform members about the applications, when they are due, and how to complete the process. And be it further resolved, workshops be taught to further educate FFA members about SAE projects and the proficiency applications available. And be it further resolved that the information and links to proficiency applications be made more accessible, such as the iRecord book system. Subcommittee 6.3, New Career Development Ideas. The subcommittee was chaired by Katie White from the Hollister San Benito FFA chapter. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas there are many water restrictions in California, and whereas there are few aquaculture facilities within California agriculture education programs, and whereas there is a lack of agriculture teachers in our state and nation, and whereas there is a high interest among state and national FFA members for an agriculture education CDE area. Therefore be it resolved, no new aquaculture CDE be created, and be it further resolved, California FFA explore and recommend the creation of agriculture education CDE that resembles the rules and regulations of Florida's Ag Education CDE, including the use of PowerPoints, a written test, poster papers, and more than one person on a team. Subcommittee 6.4, Creating a New Speaking Contest. The subcommittee was chaired by Michaela Palmer from the Bakersfield Frontier FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas there are very few speaking contest options that are not already provided for FFA members, therefore be it resolved, no new speaking contest be created. Subcommittee 6.5, Academic Scholarship Opportunities and Requirements. The subcommittee was chaired by Julian Pera from the Gall FFA chapter. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas current state officers cannot apply for California FFA scholarships, and whereas scholarship requirements should be made fair for all FFA members, and whereas all scholarships are awarded to students attending schools only in California, and whereas there are not very many scholarships given out, therefore be it resolved, the application be available to state officers, and be it further resolved that it should not be a requirement to have earned the state degree, as the degree may be too difficult for some people to earn. And be it further resolved, scholarships be made available to students going to out-of-state community colleges or universities. And be it further resolved that the FFA Foundation seek additional sponsors and individuals that would help support scholarships for FFA members to continue their education post-secondary. Respectfully submitted, Whitney Whitaker, Atascadero FFA Committee Chair. Mr. President, I move to accept the committee report as read.
There's an implied second. Discussion. Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor of adopting the committee report signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Whitney, thank you so much for your service on this committee. The input that you and your delegates have will make this organization stronger in the future. Please accept this gavel as a token of our appreciation. One of the greatest responsibilities of FFA members is to set the course for the future of our association, for future FFA members. One way to affect the future is through constitutional amendments. Amendments to the California FFA Constitution can be submitted by the state officer team, the 6 regions of California, and FFA chapters. This year, there have been 2 state amendments submitted for our consideration. Please note that during the following discussion, we are not voting on these amendments, but strictly discussing them so that delegates can voice their views. Voting will take place after this session in Valdez Hall. As we discuss these amendments, please refer to our conference programs or the screens above you for the exact wording that would appear in the Constitution if the amendment passes. These proposal drafts begin on page 28. Amendment Proposal 1. This amendment would eliminate the administrator survey requirement for state officer candidate applications. The state staff recommends a do pass. The State FFA Advisory Committee recommends a do pass. The State FFA Executive Committee recommends a do pass. Please take a moment to review the amendment proposal displayed on the screens above or in your conference programs. Please note that during this part of the session that only delegates can debate, and only if you are wearing a delegate pin will you be able to speak. Debate is now open. Delegates, please move to either the reporter station or the treasurer station to conduct a debate. A state officer will meet you at each station to provide a microphone. Is there any discussion? Amendment Proposal 1. Any discussion? Anyone? We'll continue on to Amendment Proposal Number 2. Amendment Proposal Number 2. This amendment would change the position of the CAT representative on the Adult Board of Directors. The state staff recommends a do pass. The State FFA Advisory Committee recommends a do pass. The State FFA Executive Committee recommends a do pass. Please take a moment to review the amendment proposal displayed on the screens above or in your conference program. When we conduct debate, once again, we can either move to the reporter station or the treasurer station. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? We have concluded discussion regarding state constitutional measures. Thank you for some tremendous input, delegates. So that got the loudest cheer, I understand. Okay. Thank you for some tremendous input, delegates. As a reminder, delegates can make their way to Valdez Hall to vote on these amendments at the conclusion of this session. As members of California FFA, we also have a responsibility to voice our opinion on national FFA constitutional amendments. This year, 2 amendments have been proposed at the national level. The stance we take on these amendments will determine how our delegates from California vote at the national level. So once again, we are taking a stance on these amendments. So before we can begin discussion, we must have a motion of a do not pass, do pass, or take no stance. And then as an association, we will vote on that motion to determine what our national delegates will vote, or how they will vote at National Convention. These proposal drafts begin on page 29. National Amendment Number 1. This first proposal would limit the number of delegates any one state can send to the National FFA Convention to 30 delegates. Please take a moment to review the amendment proposal displayed on the screens above or in your conference program. At this time, I will entertain a motion of a do not pass, do pass, or take no stance on this proposal. Once again, we need a motion of a do not pass, do pass, or take no stance on National Amendment Number 1.
Mr. President?
The chair recognizes the delegate from the reporter station.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to make a do pass stance on this motion.
A do pass stance? It has been moved to take a do pass stance on this motion. Is there a second? Name and chapter?
Rodrigo Ramirez, Salinas Everett Alvarez.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. President?
Chair recognizes the delegate from the reporter station.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm very much in favor of this motion. There are many states right now that do not have equal representation at the National Convention, based solely on their percentage of FFA members in the actual organization. And based on the amount of ag teacher positions that are not being filled in California, we very well may be one of those chapters that does not have equal representation sometime near in the future. I think this would very much benefit us later on if our membership were to decrease, as well as give other states a fair representation and give them an equal say in all national matters. Therefore, I encourage a yes vote on this motion.
Delegates, please refrain from cheering during discussion of these amendments. Thank you. The chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
Hi, I want a do not pass because much states are bigger than
Name and
others.
chapter first.
Oh, sorry, Mandy Morrison from East Union. I propose a do not pass because some states have much more members than others, and it would not be fair to limit the amount of representatives in California, we're such a large state, as opposed to a state like New Jersey, who has not as much population. So it wouldn't be fair to limit California, who has so many potential to go, as opposed to other smaller states.
Delegates, please refrain from cheering.
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the delegate from the Reporter Station.
Thank you, Mr. President. I urge a do pass on this motion. Oh, name and chapter. Oh, sorry. John Boyes, Durham FFA. I urge a do pass on this chapter. On this motion, because it will mirror our national constitution. Currently, the House at the national level is set to a maximum of 456 delegates, or representatives. So if we mirror our national constitution, we are holding true to the American principles of FFA. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
Alexa Wakowitz, Lucerne Valley. I encourage a do not pass because California FFA has over 70,000 members, and we need to be represented properly for all the hard work we've put into recruiting these members and gathering together such a powerful association. I encourage a do not pass because we need to show our voices and we need to be heard. Even though some smaller states might have difficulty being heard, we are a big agricultural state, and we need to make sure that we get our voices out there.
Delegates, please refrain from cheering.
Mr. President.
Reporter Station.
Daniel Segura from Pioneer Valley. I urge a do not pass vote on this motion, seeing that our state is one of the largest and 30 delegates is not enough to represent our voices in the National Convention. We need more in order to be able to voice our opinions and be equally represented at the convention. So please vote no on this motion.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
My name is Matthew Onitza from Apple Valley. I recommend a do not pass because we are representing the members of our state, not the state itself.
Delegates, please keep in mind that we are debating on a do pass motion. A motion has already been made. If we have to fail the main motion, if you want to fail the main motion, we have to fail the main motion before we can recommend a do not pass motion. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
Kyle Wallace, Orange Glen FFA, and I recommend a do pass on this amendment, saying that California does have a large number of members, but we shouldn't be judged on how much members we have. Instead, we should be judged on what the members do, and I believe that every state should be given a fair chance. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Reporter Station.
Yesenia from Soledad FFA chapter. I strongly disagree with this amendment due to California being the land of the free, and if we limit our voices in California, we would be limiting our opinions. Thank you.
Thank you. Delegates, please keep in mind, just as a general point of consideration, that please do not repeat anything that's already been said. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Treasurer Station.
Mark Borges from the Houston FFA chapter. I recommend a do not pass on this amendment because this would limit the number of national delegates at the National Convention. And as a California association, I believe that our voices need to be heard. Thank you.
Once again, delegates, keep in mind that we are debating on a do pass motion. Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
Molly Wallace, Newman Chapter. I urge a do pass because while 30 is a limitation on the delegates currently represented by California at the national level, it is still enough to represent our large vote that we have because of our many members, while still taking into consideration the needs and wants of the other chapters, other states.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Treasurer Station.
Cody Robinson, Corridors Chapter. I am against this main motion, for we are looking at this national organization as brothers and sisters. We might be defined as a state by our region, but we are all in all one people, we are one single organization, so we must represent the members of that organization and not that region. So I am against this motion because of that fact that I do not believe we will be properly representing our members the best that we can by putting a limit on the cap. By putting a limit on the number of delegates.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
The Treasurer Station.
Maria Alvarez, Madera FFA. I motion a do not pass because as currently we have 49 members attending as delegates at the National Convention, and this would limit us to 30, reducing 19.
Once again, keep in mind, delegates, that we are debating on a do pass motion. We must fail the main motion in order to take a motion or to take a stance of a do not pass. Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Treasurer Station.
Dylan Donahue, Dos Pals. I recommend a do pass on this motion because though we are a larger state, there's no reason that our opinion should be able to dominate any other states.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Yes.
Angeli Dowling from Etna. It is not fair to limit the opportunity of California's members to be a national delegate, and that is why we should fail this motion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed. Just keep in mind before we vote that if this motion is adopted, that we take a do pass stance on this motion, that delegates to the National FFA Convention will vote for this when this comes around. And so we will be limited as far as delegates are concerned. Just want to make sure that everyone knows what we are voting on. Okay, so we are voting on taking a do pass stance on this motion. All those in favor of taking a do pass stance on National Amendment number 1 signify by saying aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. Motion failed. We will take a motion failed. At this time, I will entertain a motion of a do not pass, do pass, or take no stance. No do pass motions. It's already been made. Do we have a motion on the floor?
Mr. President.
Jordan Stamper, O'Neill's Minarets. I move to take a do not pass stance on this motion.
Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded to take a do not pass stance on National Amendment number 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
Alexis Felix, Harupa Valley. I urge a do not pass because the state of California is one of the largest in the agricultural state in the U.S., even including the next two combined. If we limit our delegates at the National Convention, there's no way that our voice can be heard with the equal number of votes across the country.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor of taking a do not pass stance on National Amendment number 1 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. Ayes have it, motion passes. We will proceed to National Amendment 2. The second proposed National FFA Amendment would change the process in which we amend the national constitution and bylaws. First, a vote would be taken by the delegates. If the item passes by the required 2/3 of the delegates present at the National FFA Convention, then a second vote would be taken by association. Each association would have one vote at this second vote. At least 50% of the associations would also have to pass the amendment for it to take effect. Please take a moment to review the amendment proposal displayed on the screens above or in your conference program. Keep in mind that only delegates can debate and only delegates can vote. At this time, I will entertain a motion of a do not pass, do pass, or take no stance on this proposal. Is there a motion on the floor?
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
Alexis Felix, Rupa Valley, and I urge a do not pass because
I need a motion.
I urge a do not pass on this amendment.
It's been moved to take a do not pass stance on National Amendment number 2. Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
I urge a do not pass, mainly because this amendment will cause any voting more time and it will be more strenuous on the National Convention, as well as it requires 2 different votes for it to pass.
Any further discussion? Discussion? Chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
Sandy Dye from the Sunny Hills FFA chapter. I recommend a do not pass on this motion because although it will need 2 different votes to get this passed at any time, it does cause an issue that it has to go through 2 different steps, and this will cause discord within the associations because as we just did on the First Amendment, one of them will be based off of the number of associations and the other will be based off of population by delegates. And this just goes back on the fact that it causes discord between the 2.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes the delegate from the Reporter Station.
Abby Nordquist from the Foothill Palisadro chapter. I am against this motion because we need to make sure that all the members are getting a fair stance on when they're voting. So if we're allowing more votes through the membership, this will make sure everyone's properly represented.
Any further discussion? Discussion?
Mr. President.
Reporter Station.
Thank you, Mr. President. John Boyes, Durham FFA. I recommend a do pass on this motion because this motion mirrors our bicameral legislation at the national level. So if we are holding true to our American values, I recommend a do pass. It'll represent our bicameral Congress. Thank you.
Delegates, please refrain from cheering.
Mr. President.
Treasurer Station.
Alex Walker, Lemoore FFA. I am against this main motion because if we pass this main motion, our first vote will not be represented. I believe that the second vote will second guess the previous decision.
Thank you. Moving on, any more discussion?
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes the delegate from the Reporter Station.
Julie Brown from Ukiah FFA. I'm recommending a do pass on this motion because if we do a do not pass, it'll make it take longer time to pass, or it'll make it take longer time.
Delegates, please keep in mind that we are debating on a do not pass stance on National Amendment number 2.
Mr. President,
Chair recognizes the person from the Treasurer Station.
Cody Robinson, Corridors Chapter. I urge for a do not pass on this motion. The rights of our members to vote are safe and sound, so I see no reason to add another vote to this national, I see no reason to add another vote.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the delegate from the Treasurer Station.
John Tamayo from the Hopeville FFA chapter. And I move to go forward with the amendment as a do not pass because it will take a longer process for any amendment through the national constitution to get passed by any state association.
Thank you. Any discussion? Discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor of taking a do not pass stance on National Amendment number 2 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. We will take a do not pass stance on National Amendment number 2. Mr. Browning, thank you for your help during the amendment process. Your advice regarding proper parliamentary law is greatly appreciated. Please accept this token. Please accept this as a small token of our appreciation. Thank you very much. Let's give another hand to Mr. Luke Browning. Thank you to all delegates for your patience, thought, and hard work throughout the delegate process. Future members of the California FFA Association will be grateful for your effort. Please give yourselves a huge round of applause.
The Conference Review Committee is a huge asset to this convention. The purpose of this committee is to review and evaluate the California FFA State Convention and look for areas of improvement within these 4 days. It is my pleasure to introduce Amanda Skidmore of the Atwater FFA chapter to read the report of the Conference Review Committee.
The committee was divided into the following subcommittees. Subcommittee 3.1, Conference Sessions. The subcommittee was chaired by Kevin Snyder, Oakdale FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the rise in technology has introduced increased smartphone usage, and as an agricultural organization, we should conserve vital resources such as paper. And whereas the committee collected 52 surveys last year, offering no incentive. Therefore, be it resolved that the 88th State California FFA Conference have an app that will encompass session information and replace the conference program with a paper version available only upon request. And be it further resolved, it is with honor I announce that over 1,200 FFA members completed the survey this year, and the California FFA will continue to offer rewards for those who complete it. Thank you to all of you. Subcommittee 3.2, Lodging, Meals, and Transportation. The subcommittee was chaired by Damian Arceo, Clarksburg Delta FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas provided meals are inefficient and not timely, with little variety to include food allergies and different tastes and culture. And whereas current busing to the Fresno State workshops is confusing, crowded, and congested, often using valuable time and students. Therefore, be it resolved, California FFA create a food vendor location consistent to that of the National FFA Convention. And be it further resolved that regional bus stop locations will be put in place to ensure safety within a timely manner and efficiency. Subcommittee 3.3, One-Day Program and Career Show. The subcommittee was chaired by Miguel Rodriguez Gonzalez, FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the career show only consists of mainly booths and does not include all aspects of FFA inside and outside of the classroom through the different agriculture pathways. And whereas one-day participants do not always have the opportunity to attend workshops and bring back valuable ideas to their chapter. Therefore, be it resolved, an expo modeled after National Convention be added to the career show to allow for interactive and hands-on components. And be it further resolved, a workshop shall be held on every day of the conference, available to one-day participants, hosted by past state officers or state staff members. Subcommittee 3.4, Entertainment Activities. The subcommittee was chaired by Kaylin Nylander, Eureka FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas previous state conferences hosted similar events that hold true to our tradition and allow more opportunity to extend relationships between members. And whereas state talent only offers limited variety and chances to perform solely on the stage. Therefore, be it resolved that a dance with activities shall be hosted at the 88th California State Conference in addition to the existing concert. And be it further resolved, California FFA will increase diversity and allow state FFA talent to perform and entertain at award banquets, dinners, and host talent performances at the career show. Subcommittee 3.5, Workshops. The subcommittee was chaired by Savannah Carter, Bakersfield Highland, FFA. The subcommittee recommends the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas workshops seem to lack attention and guidance at times, which has overall drastically reduced participation and students lose leadership development experiences. And whereas it is difficult and proved to be a challenge to review workshops without being able to participate and be a part of them. Therefore, be it resolved that a presenter guideline and preparation be put in place to organize those that are facilitating the workshops, including approved lesson plans, learning objectives, and evaluation processes. And be it further resolved, the workshop subcommittee will be allowed to attend those workshops and will review their success. Respectfully submitted, Amanda Skidmore, Atwater FFA. Mr. President, I move to accept the committee report as read.
There's implied second. Any further discussions? Motion passes. Amanda, thank you so much for your hard work and dedication that you have brought to California FFA State Convention. Thank you for being dedicated and your time here at State Conference. Please accept this token of our appreciation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Over the past 4 days, the more than 600 voting delegates of this association have worked tirelessly attending sessions and debating on constitutional amendments. Their hard work and dedication towards this organization will help change the future of California FFA. The votes have been casted and the results are in. Proposal number 1. This amendment changes the survey requirements for the state officer application process. 338 for and 301 against. Amendment number 1 fails with the lack of 2/3 vote. Proposal number 2. This amendment changes the CATA representation requirements of the Adult Board of Directors. 329 for and 308 against. Amendment number 2 fails with the lack of 2/3 vote. Being a delegate during state conference is no small or easy task. Thank you again, delegates, for taking the time to better this association.